and stand on his roof. Okay, that's a bit random because I know when I get out of bed, I'm not going outside. But maybe because it was kind of hot. And he saw Bathsheba bathing, and the Bible emphasizes that she was actually beautiful. So we get an understanding that it wasn't just any woman. She was very beautiful to behold. But instead of stopping there, he allowed curiosity to get the better of him and wanted to tamper the devil's playground by asking questions. So, as we continue in verse 3,
he sent someone to find out who she was, and he was told, "She is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, and the wife of Uriah the Hittite."
It states that he was clearly told about the fact that she was married, and David disregarded this regardless. The person else just said she's just a daughter and stopped there, because her being married or not doesn't change his decision. In fact, it makes the situation so much worse because he was aware, and because he was aware, he started playing around with different thoughts, and his lustful desire led him astray. You see, the same thing happens with us. Okay, it may be lust for another person, but when we tamper with thoughts about sin, we begin to justify how green the grass is on the other side. And before we know it, we become really reckless in our actions, disregarding all the principles we grew up on, just for a moment of what appears to be pleasure. You see, even Jeremiah 17 verse 9 states that the heart is deceitful and nobody knows about it. So when we base our decisions on our emotions, instead of going with our head, we allow ourselves to get so caught up that we start to live in our own warped reality, not knowing that it's about to bring us pain. It's only when we get caught out in the aftermath that we begin to panic, and the consequences of our actions, instead of allowing ourselves to be humbled and giving the situation to Jesus, we try and correct it, making it worse. Just like how David became aware of Bathsheba's pregnancy and immediately took matters into his own hands. So not only did he just glance, became a bit curious, ordered for her to be sent, he then, when she became pregnant, he didn't admit the error of his ways, he continued on regardless. He probably thought that because he was king, he could get away with the sin, forgetting that there is somebody much higher than he was, who has more control than his minute piece of a place he calls the kingdom. In 2 Samuel 11 verse 8 and 12, we're told that David, on 2 occasions, attempted to send Uriah back to Bathsheba so that he'd cover it up. But it didn't work. I love how David also tried to save himself, rather than thinking about even Bathsheba. Because if Uriah really did sleep with her, she would have to go around thinking this child for the rest of her life isn't his. Supposing Uriah did go back, I can see that David would just carry on living life with his many wives without a care in the world, just believing that issue was just a mini speed bump, and she'd have to just keep silent. But since Uriah didn't, David just dug a deeper hole for himself. He clearly went to the extreme and exterminated the man altogether. Okay, not as harshly as I'm saying, but in reality, that's what he did. Because he placed Uriah at the front line of battle to order him to be killed. And if we read, he actually says, for him to be killed. So he blatantly knew what he was doing. The guy didn't even shed no remorse. Even Joab felt sorry for the guy and had concerns about war. But David felt he could send him words of encouragement. Can someone turn to 2 Samuel 11 verse 25? Okay, I'll read it. It says, David said to the messenger, say this to Joab, don't be upset about this. The sword kills everyone all the same. Make a stronger attack against the city and capture it, and encourage Joab with these words. You see how selfish David is? But you see how selfish sin can get us. When we start to play around, and when we get caught up, we don't look at how other people are affected, but we're panicking about our own salvation and our own selves when we should have been there in the first place. And you know what? It doesn't end there. You see, the God we serve, boy, he is gracious. Because he could have just left David till Judgment Day and just allowed him to be punished because he knew David knew better. But if we read in 2 Samuel 12, we know that Nathan the messenger is being sent to David, and David was able to choose his own punishment. So in 2 Samuel 12 verse 7 to 13, I'll just read. It says, Then Nathan said to David, you are the man. This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. But before I continue, I'm just going to explain for those that don't know that Nathan was sent to give a parable to David to basically show the error of his ways. So he gave a parable of a story of a man who did wrong. And David was fuming about the guy, but didn't realize this was the guy he was talking about. He says, I appointed you king of Israel and saved you from Saul. I gave you his kingdom and his wives. And I made you king over Israel and Judah. And if that hadn't been enough, I would have given you even more. So why did you ignore the Lord's commands? Why did you do what you did when what he says is wrong? You killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword of the Ammonites and took his wife to be your wife. Now there will always be a people in your family who will die by the sword because you didn't respect me. You took the wife of Uriah the Hittite for yourself. This is what the Lord says. I am bringing trouble to you from your own family. While you watch, I will take your wives from you and give them to somebody very close to you. He will have sexual relations with your wives, and everyone will know about it. You have sexual relations with Bathsheba in secret, but I will do this so all the people of Israel can see it. Then David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. You see, it's when David becomes publicly humiliated that he realizes he's sinned, when really your conscience is there for a reason. The Holy Spirit is there for a reason. When you choose to disregard it, public humiliation is only upon you. And it's funny, because it happens with us. We, as humans, are so quick to judge another person's situation from the outlook, but we're unable to see our own. And we hate the sin that other people commit, but we indulge in the ones that we do. We need to hate it 100%. It's not half and half. We can't put categories onto what's acceptable for us and what's unacceptable for other people. We just need to cut it out altogether, both encouraging ourselves and other people. But you see, this sermon isn't about how bad David was and what he should have done and how we can avoid it, because we're not perfect. And the sin we can commit doesn't mean we're doomed to hell, even though we should be. You see, the punishment that David was able to choose for himself was that the man should be killed. But you know, God, as gracious as he is, spared David's life. Even though David went further than he should have, God allowed him to not be affected, even though his child was in. No, my main focus today is that to see how we are the I in sin, but how we can be the change in Jesus. You see, David's sin didn't determine his character for life, and he was called the man after God's own heart, unless he had allowed it to. We see in the book of Psalms that he became real with God, 100%, even probably more than he was before he became king. You see, it's not about how far you are, how far you've gone, but how close you can become. And if we're still around today, we need to use the opportunity as much as we can. Don't get me wrong, just because we repent doesn't mean we're going to be 100% perfect, because the devil is on the attack. If we look at how David was from before he became king with Saul, he gave his life to God the same way, but the devil didn't stop there. The devil used Saul to his advantage and tried to kill David. So life isn't going to be smooth once you've given it over to him, but it's about trusting that someone's higher and is more in control. It's about giving God 100%, regardless of how we feel, where we are, how far we've gone. He's still there, and the opportunity is still available, especially whilst probation hasn't closed. We shouldn't take it for granted that we have all day, because the scripture even just stated, we don't know. And to be honest, we'll never know until it occurs. You see, David is one of my favourite characters in the Bible, because his relationship with God was serious. It wasn't based on emotions. I mean, he even told God how he felt when he wasn't in the mood. And I can guarantee you that every emotion that we experience can be related to one psalm. There is no psalm that doesn't relate to an experience that he went through, because he's simply human, regardless of the time zone. It's a prime example of how ours should be. It doesn't matter about the person beside you, the people you know, or who knows you. It's just about you and God. Because at the end of the day, that is the only relationship that will determine your place in heaven. Nothing else matters. Even if it's a simple prayer to start off the relationship, any form of communication is better than nothing, as long as it's genuine. It's not about how much scripture you can recite, how good you can pray, how well you can speak. Because if your relationship with God is as fake as some of our hair, then it's not going to happen. Because let's face it, without God there, we're nothing. And we'll never be anything. We won't even come being close to where God was. And once we realise the need for Christ, it's our first step to getting on our way to where He wants us to be. Can someone turn to James 4 verse 7 and 8, please? And when you find it, someone just read it for me.
Before God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw close to God, and he will draw close to you. Wash your hands, you sinners. Purify your heart.
Okay. In my version, it also states that you who are trying to follow God and the world at the same time make your thinking pure. So it clearly states we can't do both. You can't be the middleman. You can't be one and the other. You have to be one or the other. It's basically saying that all that we need to do is have the desire to just come close to God, and He will make the other effort. But as long as we're willing, it's a start. But you know what? Our pride lets us down. We are so ashamed, like David, and we start to develop our own self-assurance about how to deal with it, when in reality, we can't. But God can. Otherwise, He didn't need to die for us, and we could have died for ourselves. And let's face it, without God, like I said, we're nothing. No matter how much success and happiness we experience, it's only going to be temporary. He has to be that void that we yearn to be filled. Otherwise, we're going to be constantly searching for it in other things and other people. He needs to be the first, the last, and ultimately the centre. And I know it may sound all airy-fairy, but it can become reality if we're just honest about where we are at and allow Him to handle it. Don't get me wrong, there are times when me and God fall out. Okay, more like I fall out with God. Because I can just imagine Him sitting there thinking, when will you learn? But the most important thing is about treating Him as a person, even though He's a higher being. Just seeing Him as someone you can call on. It's like we have all the promises of love, hope, comfort, and blessings right in front of us. But somehow we, like David, disregard what's best and create other desires that bring us pain that we are obviously aware about. Like I mentioned before, if we take the time out, like David, just to be honest with Him about our situations, even when we feel to give up, God can work with that. He loves us just the way we are, but too much to leave us that way. But let's not allow ourselves to leave it till it's too late. Then we've gone so far probation closes, because that one moment of pleasure can cost us a lifetime of salvation. So my appeal to you today is not for you to come up to the front and show everybody how bold you can be, but it's more like starting off the recommitment routine, you and God. Starting again. Even if you've fallen off and you feel like you can't get back there, it's just saying, God, I will. God, I'm here. I can. Just to give Him that answer and that call to Him to say, I'm ready. It doesn't take everything to be prepared beforehand. It just takes your desire and your spirit. So if you're willing with me, just stand. As we close with prayer. Bow heads for a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank You for the message today. I thank You for allowing us to be able to come back to You, even though we've strayed so far. I pray that we can come back and that our desire can be for You and only You. And it's only when we start there that everything else falls into place. So help us not to worry about the rules and regulations, the do's and the don'ts, and what must and shouldn't be done, but focus on You, and hopefully everything will get into place. Bless us and keep us safe, and then I pray. Amen. Amen.